All right, thank you folks for being with us. And today, something just came to me in terms of topic, which is, folks on planet Earth are under this erroneous assumption, this belief that having a better life somehow is going to cost us. People think that if they go into recovery, there's got to be some payment. We think that if we change our lives, somebody's going to leave us, and which is it's a possibility. The way A Course in Miracles tries to help us and comfort us through decisions like that is it slips in these words. It's kind of like saying, listen, if you change your life, yes, there might be some changes that are going to happen. Could be, people exit and so on. But the way it says this is nothing of value will be lost. It slips in that word value because even if you think, oh my God, I'm changing my life and now there's a couple people that don't want to be my friends anymore. That's actually a good thing. You may not know it yet because you're still insane. You're still coming from the human place of, dysfunction's really wonderful. You're still coming from, I'd rather have dysfunction and familiar than scary, unfamiliar functionality. So if I'm still okay with settling, this is what I can expect. If I'm still okay with settling, any changes in my life are going to look threatening to me. It's going to look like, God, I have to give something up. What we don't realize is there's nothing of value, first of all, in the universe at all anyway. It's just a hologram. I mean, how could it be valuable? I want a hologram to hug at night. It doesn't make any sense. So, first of all, nothing in this world, as Buddha tried to explain as well, has any value. Okay, let's get that clear. Even if we don't totally get that or know that yet, let's at least understand it's a possibility. None of it has value. Okay, breathe into that for a sec. Then, none of it has value. And if I can kind of wrap my mind around that, wow, then try this. If it does have value, you already own it because there's nothing outside yourself. So the rules, the laws of do not covet such and such, like the Ten Commandments. Do not covet doesn't need to be elaborated on, like do not covet your neighbor's goods, do not covet your neighbor's wife and so on. Just do not covet. But instead of do not, how about you need not? Anything that could have any value in this universe is already yours. But the human ego wants us to think, first of all, obviously we must be lacking something. And not only do you lack it because the ego makes us forget who we are. If we forget who we are, then we forget that we're whole and complete. Once we're thinking we're lacking completeness, then the next obvious assumption would be, if I'm not complete, there must be something that I need to get to complete myself. Usually it's people. And that's, the root of codependence as the number one addiction on the planet. So first, I'm not one with God anymore. This is the ego's programming. I'm no longer one with God. Therefore, now I'm incomplete. I'm incomplete. That leads me to needing something. So now I go on a quest. Again, this is very much the way Buddha put it as well. Now I go on a quest to find something that's going to complete me. Guess what? Nothing can. So he concludes, life is nothing but suffering. Buddha says. Why? Why is it a place of suffering? I just told you. Because you think you're missing something, you go looking for it, and nothing can bring it. So you're going to now suffer because you're frustrated. Where's my completion? And then he says, not only will you find that nothing can complete you, which makes you miserable, occasionally you're going to find things that you think do make you more complete, and that's just on borrowed time. Because it's just a matter of time before you realize it didn't work. Now you're upset anyway. So if you don't find something that can falsely complete you, you're going to be upset. And if you do find it, it won't last, so you're still going to be upset. So his conclusion, life sucks and then you die. He actually didn't say it that way. But so, wow, it's like I always joke and say, Buddha's not exactly a motivational counselor, is he? It's not like, this dude's like a bummer. Let me just tell you, life is but suffering. Oh, well, wow. It takes a really courageous soul to be able to hear something like that, because we like to hear stuff that strokes our ego all the time. Just tell me I'm wonderful. You want the support from the highest of heavens to say, yeah, no, this world can offer you something. If it's true that this world can offer you something, it means you're not already complete, which then affirms that God can create an incomplete being. And if we create like ourselves, then God itself is incomplete. So it's challenging to hear stuff like this, but to be able to wrap our mind around it and still say it, but it's still true. Nothing in this world even exists, really. But even if I think it does, do I want to affirm that I need it to complete me, or do I want to affirm I'm already complete? So think about that. Because this world is like, teaching us and constantly programming us. Everything you see, magazines in the checkout stand. 10 things you don't have. 10 things you need to get from your partner. Right? It's constant. All of it. If the magazine said, here's an article, you already have everything you need, it means you don't have to buy that magazine. Now, who's going to sell you on that? That's terrible marketing. It's called the truth. The truth need not have marketing. It's just it's there. So maybe they could still be in business, but talk about the 10 joys of surrender. The 5 principles of integrity. Talking to us about the life we're going into rather than the one that they keep wanting to program us into believing we don't have. You can still have a magazine, but you're going to be talking about where we're going, the perks of getting there, instead of the constant, problems. So to me, one of the most, it's an unconscious pattern, but it's prevalent, it's everywhere, is that if we are to receive anything, there's got to be a price for it. So the ego has to convince us we're missing something before it can make us think there's value in going and looking for something. So the counter to that is, I am as God created me. I remain as God created me. I am as God created me, and God created me in its image. So I'm already a complete and whole person. So, the world tries to teach us the opposite. It says, not only do you not have things, you're going to need them. And in your needing them, you better get prepared, because there's going to be a big price for it. Now, why would the ego be able to convince you and I that there's a huge price for our good? Well, that's what neediness is all about. If you're not whole, complete, if you're not happy, the ego would rather you just be miserable. But when you start to say, you know what? I've reached a place in my life where I can't settle anymore. See, first, you don't care. You don't know that you're missing anything, or you think it's normal to be all messed up. That's where the ego wants you to be. It doesn't want people that question misery. But when you get to a place of saying, you know what, this just isn't enough anymore. I can't just marry again. Somebody my mother tells me I should marry. I can't stay married if I'm hurting and miserable. I don't want to stay sick. I think I'm going to get in a health regimen. Whatever it is, you start to question. The ego wants you not to question, but if you're going to, then it says, fine, beloved, which you're not. Fine, beloved, I'm glad you're starting to ask. I've been wanting you to improve your life, which it doesn't. It's going to say, but there's a problem. Oh, God, health foods are more expensive than junk foods. And it starts working you. This is going to, from the very first thought you have to improve your life. I don't like the way my child is being programmed with stuff with their partner. Oh, divorce, and they could win the kid. And it's going to be expensive. Do you have money? Do you have a job that could cover you? Oh, I don't, so I'll just stay. Or, like I said, starting right out the gate, health products. I've seen people, not kidding here, I've seen people in this town go to a particular healer in the region, and more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that I've known to go to this person, every time leaving their office with $1,000 worth of supplements. You know what? A funeral's cheaper. Okay? Just die. Save some money, you know. My God. $1,000 worth of stuff. Why so much? Why? Because you're so messed up. And you're going to need this, and you need this to take the edge off of that, and then you're going to need this to really boost that. And it's nutty. But the more I have to pay, the more I got convinced that I need it. The more I got convinced that I need it, the more I'm convinced that I don't already have it. I'm not saying supplements are a problem. I'm saying look at how far the pendulum swings. Look how intent people are, because that's how they think, that there's a problem, that you're not complete as you are. You could go to a prayer chaplain who will affirm your completeness. It's free. Do you think they have typically as long of a waiting line as the people selling $1,000 worth of products? They don't. It can't be. It just can't be that free prayer, free spiritual counseling, free hands-on healing, you know that rule people live by. Well, if it's free, it can't really be valuable. Oh, I'm sorry. You can also pay the prayer chaplains $1,000. If that's what's going to get your belief there, then fine. But this is how insane this has all become. We're putting a value on things, and we're only convinced that things are of value because, again, how desperately we're programmed that we're broken and we need something. You can't convince people to spend that much money on false healing techniques if they really knew who they were. You have to keep the convincing going that we're broken and it's going to be a long trip ahead. When people say to you, oh, you have, I'm sorry, but you have clinically, you've got this psychological issue, and, and it's incurable. Bam! Or some of them, there's some psych issues, chemical imbalances, they can, but it's going to take a long time. See, this world wants you to think it's going to be expensive, it's going to take a lot of money, or it's going to take a lot of time, or it's hopeless in general. And we take that on, and it becomes this weight on us. This burden on our shoulders. Like, really? God, that's terrible. Yeah, that's incurable. If it ever, cancer included, ever got cured once in the history of man, it should not be allowed to be called incurable. If it even got healed once, it should be illegal to call it incurable, because that's not accurate. Give people hope. Give people the idea that, oh no, this is curable. And say, like when people say to me about psych issues, oh, Michael, I'm having to go on, Ritalin, or I'm having to go on lithium, or whatever it happens to be. My doctor said it's incurable. I don't contradict the counselor, their therapist, their doctor. What I say is, I understand, and that's where they're coming from, and that might be possible. It's also possible that it is curable. Here's what I would suggest. Take the meds to respect the illusion and start getting to know who you are and heal inside what made you need the meds. One day you're going to find, whoa, look at this. It's gone. Let's start tapering off a little bit of the meds and see to confirm that. I've seen it happen quite often where things that were said to be incurable, take care of yourself. Do your inner healing. Don't push the envelope. Don't jump off a cliff and expect God to catch you. Don't say, heard this talk about positive thinking. I think I'll go off all my meds now. No. Keep them for a bit. I would, if I were you, I would think of it for now. This is like a crutch for now. But eventually, when my leg's healed, I'll set down the crutch. Work on the inner self. That's where the healing has to happen anyway. Work on the inner self, and the diseases and the labels, they start to fall away. Even psych issues, believe it or not. So this world wants to say, look, it's going to be very expensive for you to heal. It's going to be very expensive for you to change your life. And again, it's very sad, but that's where the money is. In keeping people broke. That's where the money is. It's enabling this whole pattern. However, underneath it all, why would I even buy into that if I really knew who I was? So I'm not shaming the people that try to program us. We need to look at ourselves and say, wait a minute. I think I'm going to stop believing that I'm broken I think I'm going to stop believing that everybody else in the world is right and I'm wrong. So I have to start nurturing this sense of value. That's the key. I must find my value. So it's like when I was a kid, I remember, I think it was like my first house. No credit. So the bank can go, okay, this is the paperwork, okay, middle initial, okay, do you have your driver's license, okay. So we're working on this deal for you for this house. We can get you this house. Oh, wow, how cool. And then I'm sitting there, this is great. Oh, yeah, let's see, just sign here, initial, it's going to be at 14%, and I'm like, okay. Why would they do that? Why would they charge me 14%? Because they can. Because really what they're saying on the psychological, spiritual level is, you don't have enough credit, which is saying you don't have enough value. So we get to take from you. We'll milk it because you lack an awareness of who you really are. Therefore, you haven't known how to nurture credit, which is a worldly version of value. So basically, you know what this is now? It's a bargain. We're going to give you a false sense of value, which is called a house that you can now develop credit because you own a house. I need to have this inside. Because 10 years later, I bought another place and I still was paying 12% this time around. It's like, because I didn't understand the game that was being played. When you step up and say, actually, I need it to be down here at 6% or whatever the fair market might be. Do you think you can walk in there to a bank shaking and uncertain and they'll go, this person's going to want 6% instead of 12? No. When they see and feel and sense your uncertainty, they're going to go after it. Why? Because they can. But you and I are half the culprits. Not knowing and owning who we are makes us vulnerable to the predators of life. And we do this in bargaining with relationships. And this is a sad one. Because we actually bargain the same way in relationships. I'll come back to that in just a sec. But, this is like this ridiculous belief system that we pick up. We go, I don't have credit, so I guess I got to sign for 14%. Oh, money doesn't grow on trees, so I have to work more hours. Well, wait a minute. We're the ones who imagined trees into existence. Why can't we imagine that money's growing on them? And nobody's questioning the rules. You can question the rules. You can be the one that got cured for such and such. You can be somebody who goes, they say money doesn't grow on trees, but I'm the one who's co-creating trees. So I'm going to manifest. And, you go out and who knows? Some $20 bill got blown off, and it's floating around and lands on a tree and it's your tree. I mean, take a picture of that. A meme or something, it's, money doesn't grow on trees, lies, look, be somebody that says it's changing. Or cut off a couple branches, sell them as firewood, and you find money does grow on trees. It's all perspective. In mythologies and in ancient times when people still believed in the power of gods and goddesses, which is what we are, they believed money could grow on trees. They would pray for a god or a goddess to provide something for them. But human beings have gotten so, not just programmed to being broken, we've become addicted to it. And that's harsh stuff. Addicted to it. Here's what, I mentioned this in a talk yesterday somewhere, but this is one of the funniest, most absurd things of all. What can we learn about the afterlife? Let's take a look at that real quick. When we die, we know in mythologies of all around the world, mind you, mythologies, when we die, we go into the underworld, meaning the astral plane. But we go into the underworld. We're in the middle world. There's heaven, the middle world, and the underworld. So we go, to some degree, we have to go into the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves to clear things. Find out what we're needing to work on. So, in using the mythological kind of pictures or descriptions, you die, you go to the other side. So you have to go through this, just that. You have to go through hell before you get to heaven. Who decided that? Who made up that rule? You got to go through hell first. That's what all the ancient mythologies say. Even if you're going to become a greater human being, like more like a Hercules, he had to go through the tests of hell before he could prove himself to be a divine being, a semi-divine being or whatever. So even that program got to go through hell before heaven. Who made these rules up? Is that really the way God designed it? And no, God did not. We did. Why? Because we're disturbed. We forgot that we're holy, sacred beings, so we settle for less than holy, sacred experiences. Honestly. So this is kind of weird. We die, we go to the other side. And to get from the world of the living to the world of the dead, or from earth to the, subconscious realms, you're supposed to cross a river. The river Styx. Well, how do you do that? Well, you pay the ferryman to take you across. Wait a minute. I'm going to pay you to go to hell? I mean, this doesn't make any sense. I don't want to go to hell. Oh, well, then you're going to be one of the lost souls wandering the planet. You have to come through hell to get to higher realms. But I got to pay for it. Do you know that's the origins of being buried with pennies on your eyes or coins on your eyes? So you can pay the ferryman. And if you didn't like somebody, don't put coins on their eyes. That way they get lost. I mean, this is weird. It's just weird. You thought it was enough to stay in a relationship for 20 years, still waiting for happiness. It's the same. Paying. I'm paying with my mind. I'm paying with the burden on my shoulders, my back, my pocketbook. I'm staying married because my parents want me to stay married. I'm staying married because my religion says I'm supposed to stay married. And all you're doing is writing checks to the ferryman and staying in hell. Someone's got to be able to break the rules. The rules of Hades, is the Cerberus, that you've got these critters, these beasts that are going to destroy you. They allow you into hell. There's another funny one. Do you know it's easy to get into hell, but it's hard to get out? It should be the other way around. It's supposed to be, why would holy beings end up in hell? That should be the anomaly. Instead, this is easy. Getting out is impossible. And in the mythologies of, throughout history, there are only a few beings that ever could pull that off. Orpheus, for example, he plays music that so deep, so moving, that he was able to be given permission to exit hell. But if you think about it, he was raising his vibration through music that allowed him to come out of hell. You want to get out of hell? Don't bargain with demons. You want to get out of marriages? Don't bargain with demons. Being your partners, being your lawyers or whatever. And I'm not just encouraging ending relations. It's just a metaphor. Another example would be my own human father. This was a brilliant thought. It's just brilliant. He would say, Michael, give me my belt so he could beat me. Do I look like an idiot, Dad? Why would I go get your belt so you can beat me? You go get it, because by the time you get it and get back, maybe you'll burn off some rage. Dude, seriously? Go get me my belt. Oh, okay. That doesn't make any sense. And this world does this constantly to us. You've got to pay and pay again and pay. What do you think karma is? And reincarnation. Some people I know, they're like, oh, I've had beautiful lifetimes and I can't wait to come back and fairyland this time, whatever. Wait till you find out what you have to pay. Wait till you find out. You're going to get to come back as the next artist of artists. You're going to be the new Beatles or the new Leonardo da Vinci. Oh, I can't wait. You forgot to read the contract. That for the first 20 years, it's going to be hell. You've got to deal with psycho parents. And that's going to break you enough to make you even a more sensitive artist. And then you'll become the new Beatles or Leonardo da Vinci. I got to tell you, man. When you're on the other side and they're showing you this, it looks easy. Because, a day, is just like a nothingness. Right? The other side is it looks like a day, but it could be 1,000 years. On the other side, there's no time. So it looks like it's just a day. Oh, wait a minute. So I get to produce all this creative, beautiful energy? And I just have to put up with annoying family members for a few years? I could do that. As soon as you start coming through the birth canal, the density and the time starts. You start seeing your watch show you the real amount of time things are going to be. And that's why there's birth pain. Because the kids are grabbing the pelvic bone. No, I'm not going in there. I changed my mind. You know? And it's like, you know, and your angels are going, hey, make like a baby and head out. No. So, you know, and you're like, no, feet on the lower pelvic bones, you know, and the hands on the other. It's like, it's frightening when you feel the difference vibrationally. You know, 1 minute, just floating, you know, the embryonic fluid, you know, and the beautiful little, oh, isn't that lovely, you know, and it's getting to be time. The actual process is like, what are you guys doing to me? Wait, what's this? I was just floating. I was chilling, you know, and now you're like pushing and there's pain and everything the mother's feeling is coming through the umbilical cord. So I'm getting filled with all kind of like cortisol and adrenaline and all kind. What are you doing, Mom? Chill. No, I got to, you know, and the kids going through all this. Like, this is nuts. Welcome to Earth. Right? They should just have a sign as you're coming through the birth canal. You know? Welcome to Earth. Because it's a place where we think we're incomplete. And mind you, what is completion? It's God. God is of great value, isn't it? The pearl of great price. God is of great value. So if the ego can convince you that you're missing God, it now helped you establish the value of what it's going to sell you as a supplement. If God is important, you must want it badly, and I can sell it to you. The ego can't, since the ego knows nothing of God. The ego is nothing but fear, so it knows nothing of love. And so, you know, here it goes. We're getting sucked into buying. It's like one great philosopher once said in ancient Greece, you know, he walks into the marketplace and says, I didn't know there were so many things on the planet that I don't need. You know, what you buy should be a reflection of what you are, not what you think it's going to give you. If I get a partnership or if I buy a crystal necklace, it should be reflecting who I am, not what I need. Subtle difference, but huge. Seems like a fine line, but man, a huge difference. So some of us will even bargain and pay by getting into a relationship just for affection. See, but when you found that person, so much love, so much connection, so much whatever, wow, we're getting together. A lot of times we don't realize you're getting together with someone who is abusive. You don't know that yet, because part of the price you're paying is amnesia. Because if you knew what you were doing, there's no way you would marry this person. But you don't know, because you said, I want affection in my life. So now a contract hits your desk. This is a person you're going to meet today. And you sign before you can think about it. Because all you know is they're going to give you affection. All I knew was I was going to get a house at 14% interest. The house seemed of value for various reasons. Some healthy, some not healthy. The house, I wanted it badly enough that I sold myself at 14%. Is that making sense? I've seen people get into relationships with people basically that they're not going to give them. It's a pseudo contract. It's a game. They're going to seem, it's like the song, Only Women Bleed. That song saying, you know, that this woman is willing to be miserable, be abused just for the pseudo sense of affection. You know, in the song, the way she's singing out, just even give me an ounce of attention, because she forgot who she is and she's starving for affection. And he can, the more a person sees they've got you, that they've got control over you, the more they're going to take. And it's not always verbal, it's an energy. And I've seen this happen many, many, many times. The more someone thinks you need them, the more they can get away with. It's these unconscious patterns and bargaining, games that we get into. So some quick examples that we all get into. Let's say, for example, when you eat something and say, that is to say, we assume we're going to gain weight if we eat something that we really like the taste of. I shouldn't be eating this kind of an attitude. We think this is all in the illusion. These are assumptions we make. We assume we're going to gain weight if we eat anything that tastes good. There must be a price to pay. I've seen people do this where they, oh, that's delicious. Uh-oh, what's in it? This can't be one of the gluten-free things, right? This has to be something that's, now I'm going to have a headache tomorrow, right? Or I've seen people, oh, God, I'm really in the mood for some coffee. Oh, now I'm not going to sleep tonight. See, there's a price you're going to pay for having coffee because you wanted coffee. Why does there have to be a price? I know it's seemingly the law in this world, but we need to stop obeying it. You're really in the mood for some sips of coffee, have them. Enjoy them and don't allow you'll have hell to pay, is the saying. There'll be hell to pay. I shouldn't be eating this. I know I'm going to gain weight. I should just glue this right to my hips because that's where it's going to go. Everybody thinks there's a price to pay. If I have a cigarette, I'm going to get cancer. Who says? Well, cigarettes are cancer causing. No, you're a god goddess. Nothing has power over you. These are the things we made up because you can't enjoy a cigarette without thinking you're going to get, ill. You'll go broke if you don't work enough. I can't stop working. I can't even retire. Why not? Well, I don't make enough on Social Security. That's this world again. You're not valuable enough to be able to retire. It's kind of odd. So just, sign right here. You're not valuable enough, so keep working. It doesn't make sense spiritually, but this is the world we set up. You can't get to heaven without going through hell. That's been sung. It's in poems. It's in belief systems. Mother tells us these kinds of things. You can't be enlightened without going through 1,000 lifetimes. That's spiritual law, they call it. It's not spiritual if it has any limitation. So it's not spiritual law, it's religious law. You have to incarnate. Again, I want to see God. I want to go home. Oh, okay, well, that's a fine ambition. We'll just come over here and sign right here. It'll only be about 3,000 lifetimes. Really? That's 14%. Sign right here. 3,000 lifetimes. Okay. First of all, now, you know what I just signed? I just signed my death warrant because now I'm committing to 3,000 lifetimes. I'm already miserable, just the fact that I signed that. Think about this. These aren't 3,000 joyous lifetimes, knowing that I just signed something that my soul knows is not true. Here and now, I can have and I can be anything. So Buddha was saying it does not take thousands of lifetimes. You can do it in one lifetime. And he broke the rules of traditional religion of his time and space, region. And he came out of that and said, I'm starting my own thought system. We can just know and be and have right here. Just know your value. When somebody's a multimillionaire and you say, God, they just make so much money, and you find even fault with these people. How can they just make so much money? I'm losing money. Because there's a part of them that believes it's easy. You may not like their spiritual beliefs, then be the first multimillionaire, billionaire that has really deep spiritual conviction. But this world teaches us you cannot be prosperous and spiritual. Oh, you're getting on the spiritual path, huh? Okay, you want me to take all your possessions, or you're going to wait till somebody else does? Because you have to be broke. Laws, all the rules, all the vows of chastity and celibacy and, being poor. That's what this world tries to tell us. We have to be the light workers to say, no, I'm deserving of anything. If spirituality has taught me anything, it's taught me that I can be anything and have anything. Prosperity. Oh, that naughty word. What is it with people? And that's not spiritual people, it's religious people. What is it about them that tells them to tell you that if you're going to be spiritual, you can't have sex or money? Like it's the weirdest thing. It's like, wow, what? You're already in hell, my friend. Like, you're just so serious and fault-finding. And who are these people? Why are they like that? Because that's exactly the face of the ego. Fault-finding, right? Never being able, because the ego can't find goodness in itself, so it can't see goodness in you. And we keep buying into this. Oh, you can't be intimate. Be careful. Someone's going to get pregnant or pass an STD. You can't be at peace with that. You can't have money without thinking you've done something wrong because money's not of God. Because money's the root of all evil. No, it isn't. Believing in evil is the root of all evil. Passing this kind of doctrine is the root of all evil. Making people afraid and making people forget who they are. And when I say who you are, remember there's two parts of that coin. Who you are automatically starts to provide what you deserve. Don't forget that. Who I am, the I am is a creator. The I am, God, is a creator. So who I am starts to determine what I have and what I deserve. So if I don't see that I'm deserving much in my life, there must be something wrong with who I think I am. I don't mean there's something wrong with God. It's something a little off in God that I think I am. I have to start tapping into, locking into the God I am. And if you start to say, well, I don't know if even God wants me to be prosperous, then use metaphors like if there were a child sitting here and God was telling you how to raise the child. Would God actually tell you? Now tell the child, don't ever have anything. Don't have money. Don't have success. Don't have a good car. Tell the child right now. Could you tell the kid, hey, and then when you get a car, it's going to drive like this on the freeway. Just, because one of the wheels is made out of a block of wood. Seriously? Is that what you teach a kid? Oh, you're so, look how bright your skin's so soft, and you smile, and look at the twinkle in your eyes. That'll be gone soon. Because, by the time they get to be whatever age and they date, that's when the sparkle starts disappearing. The skin, a few years after that, starts to wrinkle up and so on. Is that what you teach a kid? No, then why do you tell yourself that? Why would we allow the voice of the ego to convince us that we're so screwed up and then we have to pay so dearly for anything good? If you want to look better, it's going to take a lot of work. It's like, I want to look younger. Oh, well, there's ways to do that. What we'll do is we'll slice open your face and we'll pull the skin back to your lower lumbar and stitch it in there. All the way back and over. And then, whoa, you're now, wow, look, all those things that were there are gone. Except you're like, you have to eat through a straw because your lips and mouth don't work. It's weird, isn't it? But because you have to pay the price. You can't be happy. You have to get everything fixed and worked on. You need all kinds of a crew. Like in football, there used to be a coach, like a Vince Lombardi, and he might have an assistant or two. Now they have like 15. It's the weirdest thing. This world keeps telling us we need more. That guy Lombardi didn't seem to have a problem. He kept winning over and over Super Bowls. He was this genius. How come he didn't have 15 people doing it all? Apparently, I know the game might have changed a little, but at the same time, the more we forget our power, the more we think we need all kinds of stuff from this world. I need 15 coaches. I need, a team of whatever. There's practicality to it, but then it's the neediness that's off. There's nothing wrong with having a secretarial assistant if that's what you want. There's nothing wrong with having a chiropractor if that's what you need today. I'm talking about it spinning out of control, where I need to date not once, I need constant dating. I need to be married, but if that doesn't work, I need 15 marriages. I need to control my kids. They need to get straight A's or I look bad. All of that is spinning out of control. I need to live at the gym because it's never enough. And it's like, God, where's balance? The word balance, humans try to find it through their own coercion. But balance is supposed to come from feeling harmony. If I feel harmony inside, my life starts to look naturally balanced. And you can't convince me of anything else. You can't convince me that, you need one more thing. You got to have one more thing. You're not having enough. You're not enough. There are religions that tell us, a private session I had within the last couple of days. Someone was talking to me about how one of their family members is so caught up into guilt and shaming themselves. I'm never enough. I'm so guilty. You can't be guilty and believe God loves you. Guilt means that you're unlovable and everything you do is wrong, therefore you feel guilty. Well, when you tap into the presence of God, all that can be erased, but you have to give permission. You can't just say, God, fix all my belief systems. If you're not willing for them to be lifted out and replaced with something else, there's no room in the inn. There's no room for something new. As the old Eastern tradition, you try to fill that pot, but it's too full already. There's no room for anything new. We think, we even get sick as a form of this because we're getting tired of not being enough. It wears us down. And of course, there's also the sensitivity of so many people on this planet believe that they're unlovable. And if you're a counselor, social worker, etc., we even get tired working on so many people with those belief systems. Because you do some work as a social worker, a counselor, a healer, you do some work and people revert to their old patterns so often. It gets tiring. It gets old. So even the healers take a hit. And deep down, there's all this, I'm flawed and I'm undeserving of anything good. But if I do get anything good, it must be quite expensive. And that's the layout of the land for this planet. Someone's got to change it. Someone's got to say, no, I don't think that's the way it is. I think we can have anything. Then start creating miracles in your life. And when you do, be able to say, yes. See, gratitude isn't just like, oh, thank you, God, for giving me this meager such and such. This is like, I knew it. I do have value. Oh my God. Make it proof that the other rules are lies. Grab hold of it, and when you give thanks, do it with excitement. Because you said no, you broke the rules, and that's a good thing. You said, no, I just don't buy into any of this. All of the heaviness, the karma, the lifetimes. Peace now. I'm safe. I'm loved. In the here and now, in the present, here and now. I got it. And I'm going to still have doubts, so what I need to do is constantly start my day with, God, you show me. You show me my value. It's an interesting thing to say, God, you show me my value. Because God's going to be like, well, this is amazing. You're going to allow me, really? Because the first thing I'm going to do is change the way you feel about yourself. Even if it's 1 ounce, and even if it's only for 10 seconds, there'll be this. And it'll quickly pass for some. Others, it'll stick forever. But there's this little epiphany, this little revelation of, wow, I have value. That's what we're looking for, guys. Allowing God to show us who we really are. Perfect. But remember, the who you are, who I am, also becomes what do I deserve. On a 0 to 10 scale, if you believe the I am in you is a 6, then all you can manifest are 6s. What's worse, though, is that some of the people you'll meet will seem like 9s. But all they needed to do was make you think they were a 9, and you let it fly in under the radar, and you married a 6. You went to work for a 3. Oh, this company, oh yeah, we totally empower the employees. We give you days off, times off, and this and that. Somebody was having a session the other day and told me how their company looked for ways to not pay them for sick leave when they got COVID. Why would you have a business that's a multi-million-dollar business? Why would you look for ways to screw these people under? Why would you start, let's find a way, paperwork, check with our lawyers. The time you put into that, you could have paid them. Oh no, because that would affirm their value. You see? It's just nutty. That would affirm their value. Why is that a problem? Because I don't have my own value. I can't give them theirs. Then I'm going to get mad at them. So I have to strip away their value so I feel everything's copacetic. See? Nobody revealing to me that I'm off. To show me that I'm thinking low of myself and that I might want to change that. So no, let's keep everybody disempowered. It's kind of weird. So instead, okay, who I am will determine what I deserve. Is that clear? If I'm one with God, I get the gifts of God. But if my oneness is rated at a 3 instead of a 9, I'm probably going to be manifesting a lot of 3 incidences and people. And when they look like 9s, I better be careful, because if I'm at a 3 and I meet someone that seems to be a 9, it can very much be a bargaining. Hey, you interested in a 9? Because I'm a 9, I notice you're only a 3. Even on an average, that takes us up to a 6, you know. But you know what? You're only a 3, and I'm a 9. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to lower myself to dating you. Because, you know, that'll take me down a few notches, but that's just the kind of wonderful person I am. You, a successful person like me? Really? Like, but I'm flawed. I'm insecure. I've already done naughty things in my life. You would spend time with me? Oh my God, I'll do anything to have you, a 9, drop yourself to a 6 on my behalf. Then you say I do, and there's hell to pay. And it's going to happen over time. You're going to go, oh God, I don't remember this in the fine, in the contract. Read the fine print. And I will never like you, and I'll never stay faithful to you, and I'll never do what you want. We'll go to my movies, eat my food, etc. And you won't question it, because if you do, you're going to drop back to a 3. You're lucky to have me. So just grin and bear it. That's what we do on this planet. We go and have, procedures we don't need. I don't mean that they're bad or anything. I'm talking about doing what we don't need. We spend more hours in the gym than we really want to bargain. And then you end up pulling a muscle. Oh, I can't work out now. You didn't want to. And part of you knew you didn't want to do this 24/7. So you ripped a muscle. But all that was, I'm out of that now. I mean, that's all you're doing. Oh, my partner, that 9 that's really not a 9, pretended to be, they died, unfortunately. We're inside, you're like, thank you, God. All you can hope for is an insurance policy. It's so twisted. So think about this in your own life. Who's the ferryman, in your life? Who's the bargaining in your life? Is it the job? Don't go quit tomorrow, but just rethink this. I'm working a job that's a 3. Oh, woe is me. No. If your job's a 3, you were a 3. How dare you? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. You're a 10. And it's just the world is screwed up and only gives you a 3. It must have seen you coming. We're a 3. You're a 3 too. You're attracted to it. It's this natural law of attraction. So, if you want to change it, own it first and then change it. I can see that I've been living a life of a 3. However, I want a 9. How do I get there? By complaining a lot. That doesn't seem to help, so what am I going to do? I need to become a 9. How's that going to happen? Stop settling for 3. Work on your inner self. Heal old wounds. And remember, that technique of forgiveness towards yourself, not just others. And you're freeing yourself from all the old numbers you might have been in the past. You're free. You're going to a new level of consciousness. And when you do so, because we're all connected, when you change your own vibe, you're actually giving us all an infusion of that new vibe that you're drawing in. When you stay small, you're also infusing us with small. So we rise together or we fall together. I'm not saying it's your job to fix everyone, but it is your job to heal yourself. And the good news is when you do, the whole grading curve, it lifts us all a little higher. And I know sometimes it seems like very hard work. I get that. But if not us, who? And if not now, then when? Yes. I have some lyrics I'm going to share with you from a song. Just try to hear how beautiful these words are. This world wants everything but beauty, everything but love. And when I say this world, I'm talking about the ego-based world, not God's reality that's hidden behind this one. But we were brought up. Wait till your father gets home. You know, do you understand? That was not the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother says, wait, just wait until the day you return home with the Father, Mother God. That's the mother saying. Divine. The lunatic mother, wait till your father gets home. Which is already, you should sit there as a kid going, why are you projecting onto him? You're the one who's having issues with me. Let's talk it out. No, let's make him the bad guy. That's also disturbing stuff, right? So this world, just very, very strange. All that enforces guilt and limitation in us has to be looked at. Just really honestly looked at and questioned. This is not what I believe God to be. So choose to change it. Lyrics. A song called Spirit by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Many years has passed and a day. Still we walk in the path that leads to the light shining down on this great beyond. Thoughts ignite us, let love unite us. Then turn your face to the wind and taste his love within. You'll find a friend, everlasting love you can depend. Every time you smile, you bless a child. Our spirits perpetuate and our spirits meditate love and faith. We must help our brothers see that the light is he shining on you and me. And the land he gave, roads we must pave. Looking through each other's eyes, humanity will arise in love. And then our spirits, they will be one. Cool, huh? Let's close our eyes for just a moment, please. Just nicely go right into that. Not into a deep, dark process around the following, but rather an objective, clear perception. I can see very clearly how I have bargained myself at times. I can see where I paid much more interest on something than I needed to because I didn't have the credit, which is a symbol of my value. The bank wasn't going to give me my value. I am. Where have I bargained? I stayed in a relationship that wasn't the healthiest, but so that I could have a relationship. So that I could have a person, someone to get close to, someone that would occasionally give me affection. I've been on diets that didn't really serve me in my best interests because I wanted something from it. Look at all the different ways we bargain. We've gone into confessionals in church, in these booths, to confess our sins so that we can feel better. We're bargaining. I'll tell you my sins if you could just tell me there's some hope for me. And the hope is found in my purity, my innocence, my perfect innocence. All the different ways I have coped and bargained. And I'm choosing to surrender those today to a new level. Not just the ways I have. I'm also looking at anything I'm still doing that I'm bargaining. See it and give it up. And there's another alternative. I'm questioning the power, the validity of my previous beliefs about myself and others. I've judged myself as flawed. That dropped my vibration down too low enough to interact and attract other people of that same caliber. Even if I don't remember doing it, and even if I don't want to think that I would do such a thing, I at least own that it's a possibility that I played a part in settling in my life. And today I'm saying no more. Instead, I choose God's will, God's opinions, God's beliefs, God's knowing of who I am and what I deserve. Remember that what I deserve is a natural outcropping, manifesting from who I am. My outer life of what I deserve is going to change, not by me manipulating the outside, which is what the world tells you to do, changing your heart and soul. I really am good. Not because I think so, because it's impossible for me to be anything but pure, innocent goodness. I am love, joy, peace, oneness, prosperity. I am the Father, Mother, God. My job is simply to peel away all that isn't, thinking it's there, to give up and surrender and heal all falsehoods about this topic and welcome in the new. My cup emptied, my cup filled until it's running over. And as soon as my cup's running over, that's when I really know to give thanks. How do I know when my cup's running over? When I feel and know that I'm such a good person that every day I look at the end of the day, I look at my life and know someone was positively affected by my presence. When an angel appears to someone, usually those people talk about it like it's an incredible miracle. Why does it have to be winged? An angel, a luminous angel. Why can't it be you and me? Let's make that kind of a difference. This isn't abstract, it's practical. To be the God I would want to see in this world. Stop telling God to change things. Be the change. Bring more love, more light. When you can't, recognize, oops, today I must be at a 2. Today I must, my faith, my love for myself, it's really wavering. No problem, don't judge it. Just recognize the number's down. Would I like to raise it today? Not yet. Own it if you want to be miserable for an extra hour or day or week. Just own it so that you're still in the power of responsibility. But then, because you own that, you can say on another day, I'm ready. Time to wake up. Snap to it and go out and have a great day and recognize. Even my worst days cannot control me. I still bounce back, welcome in the luminous presence of love and God, and I become that presence and I bring it to the world and make a difference again. That's how we change this world into what it's really meant to have been. It won't be through election. It won't be through passing a bill. It won't be by finding a cure to a particular illness. It has to happen in consciousness. Feel a sense of gratitude. Breathe in a few times. Really like, wow. You know, not just, that was a nice talk. Instead, wow. It doesn't have to be because of what I've said. It's what you got out of it. So, wow. Find that place inside. If you can't find it, it means your soul is in a state of depression, which is understandable on this planet. But would you like something else? Find that sense of, oh man, this really speaks to my soul. He said, I am. And then what I am determines what's created in my life. I totally get that. I want the I am of God instead of the I am not of ego. Make that worthwhile. Make that exciting. Wow, this new lease on life. Finding God should at least be as exciting as winning the lottery. How come people jump and dance and smile when they win the lottery? How come we don't have that much verve about finding God? Everybody's like, oh, I'm on a spiritual path now. I don't eat anything with taste. You know, and I don't date. And if I do, I pick people apart quickly as possible so I can end it. You know, that's this concept of human existence. Where is this? Wow. To even date somebody, if you don't like them, why are you dating them? And if you do like them, let them know. Man, this is great. I love the hug, the connection. I love our laughter. I love our sense of humor, whatever, things we jive with. This is really cool. Find the zeal to compliment. If you have children and you love things they do, let them know. Not just, oh, hi, oh, piece of art. What grade did you get? Oh, okay, that's nice. I mean, it's a lottery. Every moment is a potential lottery inside. Human heads don't get that. Human souls do. But we live too much from the human and the head that everything's so stoic and so depressed. Souls are looking for a reason to be free and dance and twirl and laugh. Life is supposed to be colorful, not the way it looks emotionally the way it looks on this planet. People only get excited when their ego gets something. And then it's a temporary stimulus excitement. Oh, look, I'm dating. Oh, my God. Wow, you look great. What have you been doing? Oh, I'm dating. So I haven't eaten in 6 weeks because I want to look really good. Why? Then as soon as there's some commitment, just if this is what you are and you like being relaxed, have your body be relaxed. Do you really have to go back to corsets and whatnot? You can't breathe. It doesn't make sense. No offense. I mean, I'm just being silly. But be really, find God and be happy. It's the good news of the Lord, it's called. It's not the stoic news of the Lord. Good news. Like, wow. Find that. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate everything you're sharing with us and that you're open to. The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we go, God is, I am, we are, and so it is. Absolutely so it is. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.